And would you like to?
For us, it's only straightforward. The land registry had different to what we put in, so we've had to reapply because they wouldn't move the red light. So we've had to go back, start again to go right through the system. So it's really exactly the same as what we applied for last time, but it just shows the line in the right place. So that's all it is. We just wanted to come out and just say nothing's changed on it. It's just that. So, but we have to go back to the parish and go through the system again.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any comments on that planning application? Clive?
We supported the application some weeks ago, or months ago now, and I think we should. I would support it now because otherwise, the young lady's daughter will be applying for planning permission for her bungalow. So I think stop pussyfooting around, and I support it.
Any other comments on that one? Kevin?
It's interesting to compare and contrast this application, which absolutely should be supported, with the one that's currently going through at Penhale. Whereas this applicant has abided by all of the appropriate and necessary planning applications for amendments after the original approved application. Minor amendments have been required through various different circumstances, and this applicant has incurred significant time, cost and emotional penalties as a consequence of doing things properly. This is distinctly different when we consider the application of Penhale, where a similar but different scale application amendment was submitted against an application that was previously approved. And that was from August. The amendment was from August, and there is still no approval for those amendments, and yet that building is taking place as we speak, at risk, as was briefed to this parish council by representatives of Coastline Housing. And so I similarly, absolutely, unreservedly support this application, and it is a shame upon the planning system at the moment that this applicant has been so penalised for doing things properly in relation to that which is happening nearby on a larger scale, and by our county authorities' lack of action. I think that reflects rather poorly upon our Cornwall Council Planning Department.
Thank you. Anybody else on this one?
No, I agree with that actually.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion from the floor on that one then? A proposal to
Support.
support? So Nigel M proposes to support, a seconder Brian Smith. All those in favour? That was unanimously voted for in favour. Speed camera update. And speed camera update I've received from Emma is that new polls are on the list and they will be done. So it's obviously they have to do priority things first, but they will be done. So
yes, I checked very recently with Will Glassett. I say recently, I'm talking within the last week or so, just to be sure. And he said they're still having to do polls that have defects, so those have got to be done first. But we are on the list, and it hasn't slipped off. It hasn't been forgotten. We've just got to wait for our time.
thank you. Come in.
Is there any indication of a operational delivery date?
None at all from Will. No indication of a date. He said he couldn't give a date because, of course, something serious might happen and go above it as a defect.
Is there anything other than the poles that is stopping the delivery, the operational output of the speed signs? Is that the only stop factor?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
So poles in, speed signs up, operational.
Yeah.
The poles are there, I understand, but they have to be reinforced and strong enough to hold the solar panel as well. So.
Have we considered who's going to install the cameras and the solar panels?
That will be a group effort, I believe.
Well, that's kind of failed over the last 3 years.
Well,
we've all had a crack at it. And I probably have done a bit more than most. I I have to say, I don't think it's a DIY job. I'm saying that to the council now because I know I put them up and I took it down, but if I'd have just slipped and lost it, you'd have smashed on the ground and you'd have lost £4,000, and I don't really want to be in that position again. to be honest.
I do have a low scaffold thing and various things, so if needed, I've got something that would be a decent platform, but it might be, on that one, I don't know because I haven't tried to put it up myself, but it is meant to be able to be put up, so
Right.
that's
It took both of us to
Yeah.
hold it, it is
Yeah.
quite heavy.
So
So
that,
it
that's
would
probably
be
the crux
something-
of my question. So we're actually not ready. When polls are in, we're still not ready.
So
Well, we could do it.
to get it in then, if I'm getting it right, we need to get the polls in, which is underway. We need to get volunteers to put it up, or preferably get someone to put it up who knows what they're doing. If we get volunteers, we'll need the equipment and safety features and equipment to get it done. We are nowhere near ready. And then you're saying we got programs then?
You've got to program it. You need a laptop with Windows 10. You've got to program it up. You said that you thought you could do that.
Yeah, but I've got a laptop with Windows 10.
Right.
It doesn't, but you have, haven't you?
Well, to be honest with you, that's my personal laptop. With
So,
all my financial and consultative work on it, am I going to be required to use that on a regular basis to, you know,
one would hope.
I don't think that
I think the
is the
parish
right thing to
backup
do.
laptop runs on Windows 10, doesn't it?
So in effect,
Do
you've
you
got
mind
another
that,
hiccup.
or is there an additional laptop?
Isn't there there is another laptop up here, isn't there?
If there is, I haven't seen it, so I couldn't comment on its.
Julian uses it.
Yeah, there's one that Julian uses for email, so there is another parish laptop, which I think runs on Windows 10.
So we have actually got a rather large group of issues to resolve.
So all of this information is actually with the installation instructions that is actually with what you call the speed cameras, the speed warning sign. It's there with it. And we do need to read that thoroughly. And in particular, it says that you should be using a scissor lift to install it to get you to the right height, so you don't have to do this business, like with the television set. So I would say to you, it's not, in my view, it's not a DIY installation.
Right, so I think as obviously it is an estates issue, if at the next estates meeting, if the chairman's agreeable, we will have that you can put together some sort of plan of action as to what's needed and so that we will be ready as soon as the polls are in.
There is another option, of course, that we shrug our shoulders, say, well, we make a bit happy with this, sell the camera, sell everything we've got, try and get something back out of it, and run it out office experience. We started this, I was looking at some Facebook posts from 2019, and when that came up on our feed then was, we're getting a speed camera.
It's obviously, it was all delayed because of the pandemic, and so it was described as easy to change the batteries, etc., and obviously that wasn't the case.
December 18.
December 18.
That's when it was first talked about, wasn't it? And then we were going to get it in 19, but then we were waiting for the polls, which we didn't buy it until the polls came in, and then it was delayed because of the pandemic, because we were having many meetings. So, that all I've got on here is speed camera update, and an update is all I can give on that. There's nothing to vote on it here.
Well, are you able to accept the proposition?
Could I ask, just sorry to jump in, this is the second suggestion to pass something off to estates, to bring back to parish. When is the next estates meeting? I couldn't see it online.
It should
Is
be
it
next
before the next parish
Yes.
council?
Yes, it should.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, it's not. No, it is not. Sorry, it's
So in
finalised.
effect, to pass something off to estates is to pass it off for 2 parish council meetings at least.
Well, one, because it'll be next. Wouldn't be in February, but estates, you know, if you want to organise a working group, etc., you need to deal with it through estates. It's not, you know, at present, we have no idea when the polls are going to be done, that they could be done in 6 weeks, they could be done in 4 months. So, as the polls are not actually ready, there is no imminent.
If you were prepared to accept Brian's proposition of a proposal, I unreservedly second if that proposal was not another penny be wasted on this harebrained idea.
That was going to be my proposal.
I can't, I've just got speed camera update. It's not a motion. You would need to bring it to the next full council as a motion in order for it to be correct, I'm afraid. You know, so there's nothing to stop you gentlemen bringing it to the next meeting, but unless I actually have a motion on the agenda, I'm afraid any vote would be correct. So I'm trying to do it
I
correctly.
think, but we've also bought and paid for the speed camera, haven't we?
The solar.
Yeah.
That's a foolish decision.